If you've ever watched competitive Super Smash Bros. Melee, the first thing you'll notice is that this game is old. Older than me. But the second thing you'll notice is that it's also fast. Really fast. But what if I told you the biggest reason behind Melee's fast-paced gameplay was a technique that, despite being fundamental to playing, isn't even in the game's manual? This is an L cancel. When performing an aerial attack and then landing on the ground during the attack, you will enter a state known as landing lag. During landing lag, you are unable to act. The amount of landing lag frames are dependent on the aerial move used. Via the use of L canceling, short for lag canceling, you can cut aerial landing lag frames in half. To L cancel, you must press L, R, or the Z button within 7 frames of touching the ground while using an aerial.
Success!
L canceling is the single most important advanced tech in Melee, and it's how players are able to move and attack as fast as they do. Without L canceling, many combos would be impossible, and most aerials would be unsafe to use in neutral or against shields. But before I can get into more details about L canceling, I need to talk about hit lag. When you hit someone or their shield with an attack, you will be placed in a state where you and your opponent will freeze in place for a certain amount of frames depending on the attack. This is hit lag. The amount of hit lag frames are determined by the damage the move would deal. There are also other modifiers that can affect the duration of hit lag. If the person getting hit is crouch canceling by holding down on the left stick, their hit lag will be reduced by 33%. Moves with an electrical effect, like the strong hit of Captain Falcon's knee, deal 50% more hit lag to the victim, unless it hits their shield, in which case they just incur the normal amount of hit lag frames. The reason why hit lag is important is because it'll change the timing of your L cancels compared to attacks that do not hit an enemy. If you expect your attack is about to hit someone, you need to make sure to delay the timing of your L cancel. Another important thing to note is that an L cancel performed by fully compressing the L or R button will also count as a tech input, locking you out from teching for 40 frames. An L cancel performed using the Z button, or an analog input of the L or R button, meaning not fully compressing the buttons, will not input a tech and will therefore not lock you out of teching at all. Ideally, you should be trying to use these analog inputs or the Z button to L cancel to avoid tech lockouts. There's no lockout window for L canceling, meaning you could basically guarantee that you land the L cancel by spamming the input. However, you should not aim to do this in a match. It's always best to just get used to the timing and do a single L cancel input before landing, as this is much more consistent and leads to less misinputs. I exclusively use the R button to L cancel because that's just what's comfortable for me and what I'm used to, but it's really up to personal preference whether you want to use L, R, or Z. Every single aerial you land with should be L cancelled. Professional Melee players should have an L cancel success rate close to 100% at the end of a game. The options L canceling open up for you are insane. It allows for Captain Falcon to perform skillful combos such as knee into knee into knee, or for Fox to up air you several times in a row. It also allows for safe shield pressure and fast aerial spam from the use of the shuffle technique, which stands for short hop, fast fall, L cancel. This is simply inputting a short hop, followed by an aerial, a fast fall, and then L canceling in quick succession. If you're having trouble with consistently short hopping, make sure to check out my short hopping guide right here. Shuffle is a lot of inputs in a very short amount of time, but trust me, after some practice, it becomes second nature to throw out a shuffle whenever. To practice L canceling, I'd recommend using the Uncle Punch L cancel training mode, which will tell you if your timing was too early or too late. And even give you tips like this. You can also add a target to practice adjusting your timing when hitting an opponent. Then change the target to move every time you hit it so you can get comfortable with L canceling while moving around. If you don't have Uncle Punch, I'd recommend installing it, as it's an extremely helpful tool for practicing Melee. But for now, just go into training mode with your main, and use short hop fast fall aerial attacks in place with no target until you can get multiple L cancels in a row. Then, move on to the next aerial attack, and once you have all the timings down, do the same thing, but hitting the attack on the CPU. Then, incorporate moving around and mix up whether you hit the CPU or whiff the attack and hit no one. Remember, L canceling is the most important technique in all of competitive Melee, so make sure you got it down before moving on to anything else. If you need some more help practicing L canceling, I link some resources in the description. If there's any important information I missed or some tips for other players, make sure to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.